Billy, it's time you learned about money and the importance of Bitcoin. Billy, no!
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Currently, Bitcoin is trading around the exact same levels that we've been bouncing around for the past several days. You can see it's actually quite boring. We have a few peaks. We try to break above the $7,000 level. We get rejected. We retest down around the 6,600s, and we just keep bouncing around these levels. However, I am personally anticipating a massive move for Bitcoin within the next 24 to 48 hours, and I'm going to show you why in just a second. However, we need to talk about something serious, and if you are an altcoin hodler or you trade on some of these popular exchanges, like for example Binance or even over at BitMEX, we've seen a lot coming out from those guys, or you're holding altcoins, you are definitely going to want to stick around to the end of this video because we need to talk about an event that is being called the Crypto Red Wedding. That's right. We have 7 crypto companies, 11 class action lawsuits. This affects big name exchanges, also altcoins like OmiseGo, Tron, Civic. If you are holding altcoins, you're going to want to stick around for this because this may not be good moving forward. This could potentially be the altcoin apocalypse. Now, I'm not trying to spread FUD. I just want to be realistic about what this could mean for Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, altcoins, exchanges moving forward. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you my opinion and I'm going to let you know what I am doing. We're going to be super quick. I know it is the weekend, so if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you are not subscribed to the channel, do consider getting subscribed because my Monday video is going to have a lot to do with what I believe as far as the future of Bitcoin holds. And I'm going to show some examples compared to real world situations. So that's on Monday. But today, we need to dive into these charts. Specifically, I want to point out the fact that we are still being held down by the $7,200 level on the VPVR. You could see above my head right here. This was a very key level for accumulation right here in Bitcoin, and currently that is where we are being held down specifically. Now, we are still being held above the 200 daily moving average, which has actually moved up. It was about $5,500. It's almost around $5,600 at the time of making this video. We are still in this uptrend, which is very nice. You can see Bitcoin just keeps sort of bouncing, right? However, if we were to fall out of this, we do risk falling all the way back down to about the $5,700 level. Will we fall even lower than that? Well, I do think that if we do fall below here, there may be a quick wick potentially, and it could be an opportunity to scoop it up really quick before the bounce. However, we do need to be realistic about this because the last time Bitcoin was putting in a pattern similar to this ascending, you can call it a flag, you can call it a pennant. I'll show you in just a second what we could expect, but last time we had a major dump when we got to the end, and it looks like Bitcoin is doing something very similar to what we did back here, and if that is the case, then we could be looking for another massive dump, okay? Now, here's the thing. This does look a bit like a flag, right? It may be a bear flag potentially. However, if we look at just the shape alone, it does look like it is an ascending triangle. Now, we know descending triangles usually break to the downside, ascending triangles usually break to the upside. However, this is coming off of a massive sell. So there is that potential that we do retest the lower regions down here, right? We may come back down here and retest the 6.2K. If we fall lower again, then yes, we are going to hit those low 6Ks. And like I said, it could just be a wick and a bounce back up to the top, but be very careful because if we continue to fall, we could be looking to put in another double bottom, potentially down around the $4,500 level. However, I do want to point out we do have a CME futures gap all the way up at around 9,060, and over the weekend we do have Bitcoin closing at $6,800. So if Bitcoin is sitting below $6,800, let's say tomorrow morning, we may try to race up to fill that gap. However, keep in mind, even though the gap might get filled, sometimes it can just wick up, okay? Be very, very careful about that. Now, this is the big news, and you are definitely going to want to stick around, so stop what you're doing and listen, because there has been a coordinated strike against some of the best-known companies in crypto. We have a U.S. law firm that has issued a bunch of class action lawsuits aimed at Binance, Block1, BitMEX, Tron, and several others. So this lawsuit essentially alleges that the firms bilked investors by selling unlawful unlawful securities in the form of digital tokens. Offshore Alert called the event crypto's own Red Wedding, sort of a response to, if you guys have seen the Game of Thrones, right? They're saying because it's just a coordinated massacre, essentially, in crypto. So the lawsuit, which was all filed in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York, have one theme in common. They are all saying that the token issuers took advantage of the market's lack of understanding and awareness of how cryptocurrencies work, and they sold illegal securities to U.S. citizens. Now, you might be saying to yourself, this is nothing new. We've seen this before. Yes, but we've never seen it at this scale. This is a very large attack. This isn't just one or two little ICOs. This is basically aiming it at the biggest guys in crypto, right? The suit basically says that the companies pitch their tokens as utility tokens. Remember, everybody was saying, no, but you need it for utility, right, on the platform. Well, basically, they're saying, no, these are essentially securities and you did not register them. Now, some of the companies were comparing them to Bitcoin or, Ether, which is used for Ethereum. Now, keep in mind, Ethereum is not considered a security. So, basically, you have 11 class action lawsuits that are against basically like Binance. You have KuCoin, Buybox, BitMEX, their parent company, HDR Global Trading. This is a lot of the big name exchanges in the space, right? So basically, the lawsuit alleges that numerous exchanges sold these securities without broker-dealer licenses, and they engaged in market manipulation. This is a big deal, guys. So some of the tokens, just to name, include Buybox, EOS, Bancor, Status, Quantstamp, Kyber Network, Tron, Funfair, Icon, Omizego, Ethlend, Elf, Tomo Chain, and Civic as well. So basically, this is a problem. This is a big deal for a lot of these altcoins, and this could spark the beginning of what could be the altcoin apocalypse. A lot of people could be very afraid to be getting into altcoins. You're not going to know what's going to happen, how many of these are basically unregistered securities, which it's probably going to end up being most of them. Let's be honest. It's probably going to end up being the majority of these tokens. Now, to take the matter even further, the lawsuit has also talked about price manipulation. Now, you've basically seen the talks of BitMEX. A lot of people basically are pretty convinced at this point that they are trading against their own customers. I don't use BitMEX. I would never promote BitMEX. I think they're an extremely shady exchange. But you can see right here, they say it asserts that BitMEX has traded against its own customers via their own trading desk, which, by the way, wasn't revealed until 3 years after they were created in 2018. They say BitMEX acts like a casino with loaded dice, manipulating both its systems and the market that its customers use for their own substantial financial gain. Keep in mind, on March 12th, when the price of Bitcoin dropped 20%, BitMEX went offline for a short period of time. The lawsuit claims that as a result of the outage, BitMEX did not dip into its insurance fund, but rather liquidated 800 million of its customers' highly leveraged positions for its own profits. And this is definitely one of the reasons why leverage trading gets a terrible name, outside of the fact that it is extremely risky to use. Now, a lot of the newer guys, they are using basically data aggregation, which means they're taking it from different exchanges, and the liquidation prices are actually based on a combination of all different exchanges. Well, you basically know the situation with BitMEX. I mean, I don't, if anybody's trading on BitMEX, I don't know why you're even using BitMEX right now. There's so many better alternatives out there. Just to name a few, obviously you guys know I do enjoy Bybit. That is my go-to. However, today I don't really want to harp on that. I want to discuss also the fact that we've had prominent people, for example, coming out. You have John McAfee. He goes out and talks about, Twitter being the number one social platform. And he says, somebody says, I think people follow you because of Bitcoin. And he comes out and says, I have no clue. Bitcoin is worthless. Now, interestingly enough, keep in mind, John McAfee was the person that said that when I predicted a $500,000 Bitcoin at the end of 2020, I used the model that predicted $5,000 at the end of 2017. Bitcoin has accelerated. I now predict a $1 million by the end of 2020, $1 million Bitcoin. I will stand by this. If not, I will still eat my own manhood. If wrong. Now, personally, I think number one, he just feels probably pretty stupid for this insane prediction. And also number two, Bitcoin doesn't pay you money to promote it's shitcoins. So, that model might just not work out for John. However, having a look right here, I do want to point out one thing before I go into one story from a bank, and then I'm going to let you guys know how I feel about this moving forward. But you can see that Willy Woo basically says right here, visualizing what a 50% pullback on Bitcoin looks like in the bigger picture next to gold and the S&P. This is Bitcoin weathering the biggest crisis we've seen perhaps since the Great Depression, the first big test of its safe haven properties. And you could see that logarithmically. Yes, Bitcoin did take that 50% dip, which it did recover from very quickly in a matter of 2 days. However, having a look, you could see that looking just since 2015, the S&P has actually taken far more of a hit when you look at the amount of time that was wiped off of the chart. Bitcoin's only been around for a small period of time. Yes, it's very volatile, but the overall structure of Bitcoin is still extremely bullish on the macro chart, right? But I know that's probably not what most of you want to hear right now because it does suck to consider how much we've lost. I do like to point out, though, that a lot of these highs for Bitcoin, the 20K, high for Bitcoin, the 14K for Bitcoin, we don't stay there very long. So a lot of people go, oh, Bitcoin's down from 20K. We were only at 20K for what, a day? We were only above $15,000 for, I think, a week. So you do have to take that into perspective. Take it with a grain of salt. If you actually look at the lower levels of Bitcoin, we've actually stayed around these levels a lot longer. However, one thing I want to talk about is the FDIC has closed a small West Virginia bank. So is this the beginning of the banks actually becoming insolvent and closing down? You've seen people looking to pull their money out of banks, and the question is, where are these people going to put their money in? Now, I know you're probably thinking, oh, you're going to say Bitcoin, aren't you? That's for Monday's video. Stick around. Definitely get subscribed if you haven't. But you could see a small bank in West Virginia has become the first institution to fail during the coronavirus crisis through the bank that, it says, though the bank has been experiencing difficulties since 2015, its 2019 capital levels were too low. So the First Bank of Barbersville, with $152 million in total assets, was closed Friday by the West Virginia Division of Financial Institutions. The bank's $139.5 million in deposits will be acquired by MVB Bank Incorporated of Fairmont, West Virginia. This is not good. You do not want to see banks closing. Okay, now keep in mind this is a small bank. Some of the bigger banks, they might be all right, but just keep in mind that this could become a theme seen throughout the world. Now, I want to give you my opinion essentially on what is going on. Well, as far as altcoins goes, primarily, just to let you guys know, and I'm not like a Bitcoin maximalist, you guys know that. However, right now I am sitting in predominantly Bitcoin and cash. Yes, you heard me right, guys. Cash for liquidity and Bitcoin, because currently in this time of uncertainty, I'm not trying to catch falling knives with altcoins, and I'm not trying to time bottoms on altcoins. Now, you may think that's a stupid approach. You may be like, oh, you're missing out on all these gains, K-Dub. Listen, for me, I'm not looking to hold altcoins long term. I'm looking to hold Bitcoin long term. I will happily trade altcoins if I believe that altcoins are on a definite uptrend after it's been confirmed. After we've had a nice 20%, 30% uptrend, we come back down, we retest the line, we start to pump again, fine. Well, then I will go back into altcoins to trade them. As you know, that my ultimate goal is to acquire as much Bitcoin as possible, hence sitting in a cash position as well, so I can have that liquidity in the event that Bitcoin does go down to some of these crazy low levels, like 5,000, 4,000, 3,000. I want to have cash to go in and buy that Bitcoin, right? As far as leverage trading goes, leverage trading is fun to do. It's cool to do on uptrends if you have confirmed dips and stuff, but ultimately I am a Bitcoin hodler. I look to hold Bitcoin long term. If you've been following the channel for a while, you probably already know that. So that's essentially what I'm doing. I'm waiting for confirmation of an absolute alt season, alt pumping. Right now, it's very speculative, and let's be honest, people are not even sure about Bitcoin right now. And if this global crisis gets even worse than it is right now, well, we're going to have some big problems on our hands, and you're going to probably continue to see Bitcoin selling off as people desperately need cash to pay for their daily expenses. We've seen unemployment rates go over 10 million in the US. I mean, it literally is like a hockey stick chart straight up in the air. It looks absolutely absurd. So that's basically what I'm doing, guys. I am sitting in Bitcoin and cash right now. I had some Ethereum. I converted it into Bitcoin, not because I don't believe in Ethereum. I like Ethereum, but let's be honest. if Bitcoin falls 5%, Ethereum is probably going to fall 7, 10, maybe 15%, right? That's just the reality of it. Now, obviously, if it goes the other way and we start to pump, yes, then the altcoins may have better gains. But like I said, I'm not trying to time the bottom. I'd rather ride a wave that's a guaranteed uptrend than just try to guess where the bottom might be and just continue watching my portfolio get lower and lower. That's what I'm doing. Maybe you're doing something totally different. I am not a financial advisor. I am just a guy on the internet. Do not listen to anything I say. This is just my opinion. But that's what I'm doing. And also be sure to stick around for tomorrow's video where I'm going to talk about one catalyst that could actually literally cause Bitcoin to explode to the moon once people catch on and figure out it's not the halving, it's nothing like that. It actually has to do with demand of assets and what people are going to look for as a hedge if we do continue to have this insane inflation of the US dollar. So that being said, that is all for me today. Thank you so much if you stuck it out to the end of this video. I do hope you found some value in it. If you do, definitely smash the like, get subscribed, join the free Telegram. You know what to do, or just drop a comment, say hello. Thanks again for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. I love you so much. You're the reason that I attempt to do this every single day. I couldn't get a video out yesterday, had a lot of stuff to do. Believe it or not, in quarantine, I actually had some things I had to do. But that is it for me today, guys. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.